Welcome back, everybody. We're diving deep today into something I think is going to be pretty interesting. It's called water alchemy.
Ooh, water alchemy.
Yeah, so we'll be exploring what water alchemy is, some of the practices, and sort of the beliefs behind it. And we're going to be drawing from this text called "The Essence of Water Alchemy."
Well, I'm excited.
Me too. And I think one of the most interesting things, at least initially, is that water alchemists believe that water's a living, conscious element. I
Wow.
know, it's pretty wild. They believe it responds to our intentions.
Okay.
So I'm a little skeptical. I mean, water having, like, feelings, I'm not really sure I buy that. But I am open to learning more about it.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a new way of thinking about water.
Yeah.
We usually just think about it as um, this essential substance for life, but thinking about it as having consciousness is, definitely intriguing.
So how would that even work? Like, how could water have feelings?
Well, everything in the universe vibrates at a certain frequency,
Mm-hmm.
and our thoughts and emotions, they also have a vibrational energy.
Mm-hmm.
And because water is so fluid, it's incredibly receptive to those subtle energies.
So are you saying that our energy can, like, actually imprint itself onto the water?
Exactly. And there's actually some pretty intriguing evidence for this. Have you ever heard of Dr. Masaru Emoto and his research on water crystals?
No, I don't think so.
So he showed that water that's exposed to positive words or positive music or even just like positive thoughts, it forms these beautiful symmetrical crystals when it freezes. But water that's exposed to negativity, it forms like these distorted, incomplete crystals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
That's fascinating. So, okay, let's say that's true and water is that receptive to energy. What exactly do water alchemists do with it?
Well, they work with water in a bunch of different ways to enhance its energetic qualities,
Okay.
and they also use it for healing and transformation.
So, are they like talking to their water bottles?
It can be that simple, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of water alchemists, one of the first things they do is speak their intentions into a glass of water before they drink it.
Okay. So, what else? Like, what are some other things that they do?
So there are practices like creating sacred water for rituals, or they use sound, like with singing bowls and tuning forks and crystals.
Hmm.
They even work with the cycles of the sun and the moon. They make moon water and solar water.
Okay, I am definitely intrigued. Let's start with the basics. This infusing water with intentions, how does that actually work? Like, can you give me a specific example?
Sure. So imagine you're holding a glass of water
Okay.
and you want to bring, let's say, more creativity into your life.
Mm-hmm.
So you focus your attention on that desire and you visualize yourself really expressing your creativity fully. And then you actually speak your intention into the water. You might say something like, "Water, please amplify my creative energy and inspire me to express my unique gifts." Something like that.
So it's almost like a prayer or a meditation.
Yeah, exactly. It's about consciously imbuing the water with your desires and your energy and your unique vibration. And then when you drink the water, you're not just hydrating your physical body, you're also absorbing that intention.
Okay.
And you're aligning your energy with your goal.
That's really fascinating. I've never really thought about drinking water as a way to manifest my dreams.
It's a powerful practice.
I'm definitely going to try that.
Awesome.
I'm curious about these other techniques too, though. You said something about creating sacred water. What's that?
So creating sacred water is kind of like crafting a potion for your well-being.
Okay.
And it involves infusing water with the energy of crystals or herbs or essential oils.
Oh, interesting.
And each ingredient is chosen for its specific vibrational qualities and how it aligns with your intention.
So it's not just about like making it taste good.
It can be a sensory experience, definitely. But, the real power lies in the combination of those elements and the intention that you bring to the process. So you might choose, let's say, a rose quartz crystal for its heart-opening properties.
Hmm.
And then you add a few drops of lavender oil for its calming effect.
Mhm.
And you hold the vessel in your hands, as you visualize love and peace flowing into the water.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful practice.
It sounds really, really mindful. It makes sense. It feels like, we're taking something that we usually just, take for granted, and we're actually giving it more a more sacred meaning.
Definitely. It's about reclaiming that sacredness.
You mentioned something else too. You said something about using sound and crystals to to alter water's frequency?
Right. So it's based on the idea that everything vibrates
Mm.
and different frequencies create different effects. So sound, whether it's, from a singing bowl, a tuning fork, or even our voices, it carries a vibration.
Hmm.
And that vibration can actually influence the structure and energy of water. And crystals, each crystal vibrates at a unique frequency. And when it's placed in water, it imparts those vibrations to the water.
I'm picturing tiny little water molecules like dancing to the vibrations of a singing bowl.
It's a beautiful image.
I love that. What about those celestial waters you talked about? The moon water and solar water. What are those?
Yeah, so moon water is basically you place a container of water outside under the moonlight.
Hmm.
Ideally, you do it during a specific moon phase to really imbue it with that phase's unique energy. So, for example, a full moon is a great time for releasing things that no longer serve you.
Mm.
So moon water made during a full moon can help you let go.
Okay.
And solar water, that's just water that's left out in the sun. So you put it in a clear container and let it sit in direct sunlight for a few hours. And solar water is known for its energizing and revitalizing properties.
So it's like a natural energy drink?
Yeah, something like that.
This is so cool. It's like we can capture the energy of the cosmos in a glass of water.
Exactly.
But does it actually work? Like, can simply, putting intentions into the water or leaving it out in the moonlight, does that actually make a difference in our lives?
I think that's the million-dollar question, right?
Mm.
It really depends, I think, on your belief system, your openness to these energies,
Yeah.
and your willingness to experiment.
Right. So like anything else, you have to try it out for yourself.
Exactly.
But I have to say, I am feeling way more intrigued than skeptical now.
That's great to hear.
You mentioned one more water alchemy practice, something about visualization.
Yes. We can use our imagination to actually transform the water.
Mm.
But before we jump into that, I'm curious, for you, what's been the most intriguing thing you've heard so far?
Oh, that's a great question. And honestly, I'm super curious about this visualization technique, so let's jump right into that. Visualization with water.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I mean, it sounds a little, I don't know, almost too good to be true. Like I can just imagine my problems away. It's not really about imagining problems away. It's more about shifting our energy. Water's like a mirror, right?
Yeah.
It reflects our inner world. So visualization with water is a way to use that that reflective quality to our advantage.
Okay. So how would that work? Like, what would a visualization practice with water actually look like?
Well, you could sit by a natural water source,
Okay.
like a river or a lake or even your bathtub,
Hmm.
and just observe the water flowing. And as you watch it move, imagine it carrying away, any stress or anxiety or negativity that you're holding on to.
So it's like a mental and emotional cleanse.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Or you could hold a bowl of water in your hands and visualize it filling with light, with healing energy, with whatever you feel like you need in that moment.
Okay.
And then when you drink the water, imagine that energy flowing into you, nourishing you from the inside out.
That's a really powerful image.
Yeah, it is.
It really connects our inner world to this physical element of water.
Yeah.
Have you ever used visualization? Like, was there ever a time when you found it helpful?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I remember one time I was working on a project and I was feeling really stuck. Like I had a major creative block. And I decided to sit by this fountain.
Okay.
And as I watched the water cascading down, I visualized it just washing away all my doubts and fears.
Mm.
And as I did that, I really felt this sense of lightness and clarity come back to me, and new ideas just started flowing.
Wow, that's
It
amazing.
was pretty cool.
It really shows the power of our minds and how we
Yeah.
can use these simple tools like water to actually shift our energy and achieve our goals. It's like the water becomes like a partner in our transformation.
Exactly.
We've been talking a lot about these different practices, but I'm curious about the benefits. Like, what are the actual benefits of incorporating water alchemy into our lives?
That's a great question. It really brings us to the heart of why water alchemy is so compelling. It's not just about these rituals or beliefs. It's about, tangible benefits that can improve our well-being.
So what are some of the ways it can positively impact our lives?
One of the biggest ones is emotional healing. Water alchemy can really help us release stored emotions, process trauma, and cultivate self-compassion.
I can see how that how that ties into what we were talking about with visualization and using water to release negativity, but like practically speaking, what would that look like? So if someone is, dealing with a lot of stress or emotional baggage, how could they use water alchemy to help them?
Well, there's so many ways. You could intentionally add a few drops of like a calming essential oil like lavender or chamomile to a bath. That's a really beautiful practice for releasing stress. Visualizing negativity dissolving into the water as you're showering can be powerful too. Or even just, pausing before you take a sip of water to express gratitude for its life-giving properties, even that can really help shift your energy.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So it's about incorporating mindfulness into our relationship with water. Like not just treating it as this necessity, but almost like a partner in our well-being.
Exactly. And as we do that, we naturally start to, honor its presence in our lives and on our planet. And that's what makes water alchemists so important, I think, especially in our world today.
I was going to ask you about that. What is it about water alchemists that makes them so important?
Well, in a world where we often take water for granted, they remind us of its sacredness, of its, vital role in sustaining all life.
Hmm.
They really act as bridges between the spiritual and the practical.
That's interesting. So they're not just like mystics or spiritual seekers. They're also like activists and advocates for, protecting water.
Absolutely. They understand that our personal well-being is connected to the health of our planet.
So that's really inspiring. What are some specific ways that they're, working to make a difference?
Well, some water alchemists are, really actively involved in protecting and restoring water sources.
Mm,
They might advocate for, sustainable water management practices
yeah.
or, just raise awareness about the impact of pollution and climate change on our waterways.
So they're like on the front lines fighting for the health of our planet.
Yeah.
That's great. What about on a more individual level? How do water alchemists support personal transformation?
Well, they offer a lot of knowledge and practices that can help people, connect with their own inner wisdom and tap into the healing power of water. So they might lead workshops on water rituals or teach meditation techniques that, incorporate water visualizations, or maybe offer guidance on how to create, sacred water blends for specific intentions. And they act as keepers of this ancient wisdom. They're preserving and sharing traditional water practices from cultures around the world.
That's really cool. It sounds like they're playing a really important role in bridging, this gap between ancient wisdom and modern life. We've been focusing a lot on like the practical and the environmental aspects, but I'm also curious about, the spiritual side of things.
Yeah.
You mentioned the divine feminine a couple of times.
Right.
What's the connection between water alchemy and the divine feminine?
That's a really beautiful question. Water, with its fluidity and its nurturing qualities, it's been associated with the divine feminine, with that nurturing, intuitive energy that flows through all creation. And water alchemists really honor that connection. They approach water with reverence, and they recognize its sacred essence.
So it's not about like worshiping the water.
Right.
It's about recognizing that it's sacred and honoring its role in our lives.
Exactly. And as we, deepen our relationship with water, we open ourselves up to a deeper connection with that divine feminine, with our intuition, with, the wisdom of nature, and with that interconnectedness of all things.
I love that. It's like water is this mirror reflecting not only, our inner world, but also our connection to like the divine, to the interconnectedness of everything.
Yeah, beautifully said.
This has been such a great conversation.
I agree.
I feel like I have a whole new appreciation for water now.
That's great to hear.
I used to just see it as like, this basic necessity, but now I'm starting to understand it as this powerful force,
Right.
this force for healing and growth and transformation.
And we're not done yet.
Oh, there's more.
There's still more to uncover. We need to talk about the actual benefits.
You got it. Okay, listeners, you ready? We're about to get into the nitty-gritty of how these water alchemy practices can impact, well, everything. Our minds, our bodies, our souls. Stay with us.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into those benefits. What about emotional healing? You mentioned that earlier. How does that work?
Well, think about how often we use, water-related metaphors when we talk about our emotions.
Yeah, okay.
We say we're like drowning in sadness or flooded with joy.
Right. Or going with the flow.
Exactly. So water alchemy kind of takes those metaphors and turns them into these like tangible practices.
Makes sense. It's like when I take a warm bath when I'm stressed, or I listen to the sound of rain when I need to calm down. It's like naturally soothing.
Exactly. We're intuitively connecting with water's calming and cleansing properties. Water alchemy gives us a way to, intentionally work with those properties
Yeah.
to help us heal emotionally.
So we're not just like feeling better temporarily, we're actually processing and releasing like deeper emotional patterns.
That's the idea.
Okay. What about energetic alignment? What does that even mean?
So a lot of spiritual traditions, they believe we have these energy centers. They're called chakras,
Okay, yeah.
and they run along our spine.
Mm-hmm.
And each chakra kind of governs different aspects of our well-being,
Mm-hmm.
physical, emotional, spiritual.
I've heard of chakras, but I'm not sure I totally understand them. Like, what does it mean to have them aligned?
So when they're aligned, energy flows freely through our system,
Okay.
and that promotes a sense of balance and vitality and connection.
Okay.
And water, because it's a conductor of energy, it can help with that alignment.
So if I'm feeling like out of sorts, like my energy is blocked or scattered, water alchemy could help me.
It definitely could. There are lots of different practices you could try. For
Yeah.
example, some people like to use crystals in their water. You can choose crystals that resonate with specific chakras, and that can help clear blockages and restore that flow.
Right.
Visualizing water, like cleansing your aura, can be really powerful,
Mm-hmm.
or even just spending time uh, near natural water sources,
Okay.
like waterfalls or oceans. That can be really harmonizing.
That makes sense. So water alchemy is this like holistic thing
Let's think.
addressing, emotional, energetic, and spiritual well-being.
It is.
What about manifestation? You mentioned that earlier. How can water alchemy help us, create the lives we want?
Well, it goes back to that principle we talked about water holding memory. When we put our intention into the water, we're basically imprinting it onto the water's energetic structure.
Oh, okay. So we're giving our intentions like this extra boost.
Exactly. And then when we drink the water, we're aligning our physical bodies with that intention. And that can make it more likely to manifest,
Okay.
in our reality.
Wow. That's really cool. Are there any specific techniques for that, for using water to manifest?
Yeah, there are tons. One simple one is to write your intentions on a piece of paper and put it underneath a glass of water. Visualizing your desires as you drink water is another really good one. Some people create water altars in their homes where they dedicate the space to their intentions, and they'll regularly offer, prayers or affirmations to the water.
I love that. It's amazing to think that like something as simple as drinking water can, be this tool for creating the life we want.
It's pretty powerful.
What about the spiritual benefits? We talked about the divine feminine. How can water alchemy help us connect with that energy?
Well, water has always been a symbol of the divine feminine, with its fluidity and its nurturing qualities and its connection to birth and creation.
Right.
And water alchemy really encourages us to approach water with this reverence and gratitude.
So we're not like worshiping water, but we are honoring it.
Yes, exactly. And as we deepen our relationship with water, we naturally open ourselves up to this deeper connection with the divine feminine, with our intuition, with, the wisdom of nature, with the interconnectedness of everything.
That's beautiful. It's like water is this mirror. It not only reflects our inner world, but also our connection to something bigger than
I
ourselves.
love that. Yes.
This deep dive has been incredible.
I really enjoyed it.
I really feel like I have this whole new understanding of water and its potential.
It's
I
wonderful.
used to just see it as like this basic thing, but now I understand it as this powerful force for healing and growth and transformation. And I think that's what water alchemy is all about, isn't it? It's about seeing the magic in the ordinary, seeing the sacred in the everyday.
Beautifully said.
Well, everyone, we hope you enjoyed this deep dive and that it inspired you to explore the world of water alchemy for yourselves. And remember, water is a powerful ally, a source of healing, and a mirror reflecting our own inner depths. So as you connect more deeply with water, you'll definitely discover its transformative magic in your own life. And until next time, stay curious, keep diving deep, and may your journey be filled with the flow and the grace of water.